memories and memories, epiphanies and apostasies, reveries and apologies, do they echo in your mind? I don't know what happens to our dreams. I suppose no life is what it seems. I imagine you have been here too, hoping for some sign left there for you. Well, come to me, I am your friend. And I don't care where you have been. Come home, Father, come home, son. I don't care what you have done. Come to me, I am your friend. And I don't care where you have been. Come home, Father, come home, son. I don't care what you have done. I don't care what you have done. Thank you. Thank you. Keep going, I'm going to run out of songs.
Thank you, Sean Arrington. Let's give Sean another round of applause. And yes, the microphone and the camera's wobbling all over the place, and that's fine because life is wonderful, and we all woke up this morning, right? And our thoughts go out to you that are waiting online for the live stream to start. The computer just decided it wasn't going to do that, or Facebook did or something. So we're here, and sometimes this mic doesn't work totally correctly, so there's that too. But hey, we're here. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. We're in Athens, Georgia. We've got 2 new guests this morning, and just so glad to see everybody. So Peggy Olson is off today, our prayer chaplain, trainer, coordinator, and licensed Unity teacher. So I will have an opening prayer for us. But let's thank Sean again, because he played a very long intro, and we are really happy about that. So thank you, Sean Arrington.
My pleasure.
So let us center. I'm going to actually move the mic a little closer to me. So you might hear some scratchy noises if you're watching online. There. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Bronte.
So let's center. Maybe have your feet flat on the floor, feeling that energy coming up from Mother Earth. Just relaxing and centering and turning within. into that place of peace and calm and light and well-being, into that place where we know the sacred I amness of each and every one of us, into that place where calm settles any waves in our lives, or sends sparkling sunshine upon the waves, or helps us to see an old thing in a new way. We thank you, Infinite Spirit, Divine, Holy, all that is, for this day of living, this day of participating and connecting with others. We thank you for all faith centers across the globe, for all the people, for our planet. We thank you for our ability to know our personal divine truth or truths. We thank you for our ability to envision ourselves walking in this world as a light, as a helper, as a guide to ourselves and to others. We thank you for the very essence of being and living and knowing these truths. And with so much gratitude on our hearts and on our minds, we say thank you to whatever name we choose to use for the divine. Thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy All. And so it is. So it is. To read our daily word today, we have one of our prayer chaplains, Pam Jambeck, is reading today. Sorry, excuse me. That's fine. Come on up. Yes. And Mary Connor is our prayer chaplain today. That's what come right here with me, Pam. And Mary is on duty as a prayer chaplain. So if you have a prayer request after the service, Mary, raise your hand again if you would. You just go up to Mary and say, Mary, would you pray with me? And she'll help you step aside somewhere and say a prayer together. Okay, Pam, we are going to put this little microphone close to you. See, we're improvising today, okay?
Do you want me to hold
it? It should be fine. Put it. Hi, all. We'll just put it on the little elastic thing here. That'll work fine. Okay.
This is a beautiful reading for today, the daily word for March 13th. The light of truth dissolves all darkness. A bird's cheerful song interrupts the quiet of the night. The dark sky grows lighter, and puffy clouds begin to glow with a beautiful shade of pink. Brilliant rays announce the sun's arrival. The sun peeks over the horizon, flooding the new day with light. Light dissolves darkness. In my consciousness, in a similar way. At a challenging time, my heart responds to the hopeful thought that this too shall pass. Hope grows into faith as my mind opens to divine wisdom that is always mine to claim. Guided by the dawning light of truth, I see the way forward and follow it with confidence. As surely as each new day brings a sunrise, my faith assures me that the light of truth will dissolve the darkness of any obstacle I may face. From John 1:5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. Do you want this under here?
Thank you so much for that, Pamela. And that was John chapter 1, verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. Thank you for that reading. What a wonderful phrase to dwell upon. And we have something else to dwell upon this morning, announcements. Yay! This is a tradition here if you're new, because it was always like, oh, here comes the announcement. So we celebrate announcements. Oh, if you would like to reach us in any way or have any questions about the announcements, you can email us at UnityAthens@gmail.com. Peggy Olson is continuing her early morning bookworms study group. I believe they are going through the Lenten booklet for the next Tuesdays and Thursdays. This week they are meeting on Thursday instead of Tuesday and Thursday, and that's from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. And they tweak the time a little bit just because of daylight savings time. And you can email her. She'll have that on the chat stream, or email her at UnityAthens@gmail.com, and we'll get any questions to her. I am teaching a book from Eric Butterworth on Thursday afternoons in person from 1 o'clock until 2:30. It's entitled Practical Metaphysics, and it's open to all. If you haven't been to the earlier classes, it's fine to come in at any point because we're doing it chapter by chapter, and we have something we learned from Zoom. We are doing in-person breakout groups where people can discuss in twos or threes and see what the different parts of the chapter mean to them. We're finding that very interesting. Pam is in that, and I know she's enjoying it. We're so grateful to have Sean Arrington here today. Keep in mind, if you know Sean's wife, Michelle Arrington, she does a number of Zoom classes, including NIA movement, N-I-A, and yoga, and yamana body rolling, yamana. I said it right. I always want to say Yamaha or something. And she is it's at
ElevateOnlineStudio.com.
ElevateOnlineStudio.com. Michelle is a wonderful teacher. I've taken NIA from her and enjoyed it so much. So another very important announcement. At midnight last night, turn your clocks ahead. Okay, glad everybody got that because you're here. And if someone comes in at the end of the service, don't smile or laugh because they forgot to change their clocks. It's absolutely okay. They got an extra hour of sleep instead of short. There is a town hall meeting, our annual town hall meeting on the last Sunday of the month, March 27th, right after the service. There will be food. It's very important to be here if you're a member or a congregant, and it's always a wonderful time, and we get to do a lot of brainstorming and figuring out how to move forward even better. So I hope you can attend that. If you are a member and have not signed your membership renewal card, let us know. We'd love to have you do that. The last announcement is an event going on tomorrow. Some of you know I'm currently chairing the Interfaith Clergy Partnership of Greater Athens, and we meet every month, and what's going on in Europe has been distressing for many of us. We've been doing a lot of praying. So we're having a prayer vigil tomorrow, Monday, at the steps of City Hall in downtown Athens on College Avenue Street. And it's going to be from 5 o'clock until 6 o'clock. We'll have prayers from many different faith belief systems, and we will have our mayor, Kelly Gertz, will be speaking. Our district attorney, Deborah Gonzalez, will be speaking. It'll go for about an hour, and it'll be outdoors, and we really hope that we'll have some music. So hoping you can attend. I will be MC, so that'll be a delightful opportunity also. End of announcements. Yay! Okay. So it's time for meditation. We'll play some quiet music, Kevin. I will stay down here, seeing the microphone's a little different today. And thank you, Mary, for getting the lights. During meditation, if you're new to Unity Athens, we always include at least a couple of minutes of deep silence. Why? So we can just even do a better job of tuning out the outer and centering within, being open to any nudges or guidance from Source. And sometimes they don't come right away. Sometimes you'll find them later in the day, or you'll be driving in your car and all of a sudden you'll just hear the direction of Spirit helping you in one way or another, or giving you some guidance. If you're home, you might want to light a candle or turn off your lights. Perhaps if you're comfortable with that, having your feet flat on the floor, feeling the energy of Mother Earth. Perhaps with a mantra, or a simple phrase you might want to repeat that's powerful for you. God is, I am, I express divine health, or peace in my world expresses as me, or just with Soham, or thank you, God. Focusing on our breathing, we take deep breaths as possible, holding them, and then letting go. Feel light filling your body temple, blessing it with divine health, wholeness, healing. Feel the positive energy of Spirit lifting you up and giving you strength. Know your ability to access all wisdom for making the choices that may be ahead for you. And the peace and calm for moment-to-moment living. See your dear ones, family, and friends being blessed with light and love. And they feel your love, whether they are in the body or beyond. Feel the infinite presence and power and comfort and love of Spirit blessing you now. The liquidity of God's love all around and within you. As we begin to go deeper into the silence, into the quiet, focusing on the breath. knowing your own personal well-being. Relaxing into the quiet now. We are so blessed to be able to turn within, to be able to sit in quiet, to be able to gift ourselves with the healing presence of meditation and our wonderful ability to choose how we see the divine. Opening our eyes when we are ready, perhaps with a stretch, a little dance, a little wiggle, a little laughter. Thank you, Mary. Your laughter always lights me up. So yes, everybody turned their clocks ahead last night. Spring ahead. All of a sudden, it was an hour later. Just like, wow. And I'm kind of learning now that my phone will do it by itself, and now my little Fitbit will do it by itself, but the other clocks won't. So I was going around and turning the clocks ahead in the kitchen and on the microwave and the little separate alarm clock that I had. And it's like, oh, it's like a whole hour has passed without actually passing. And seeing we're kind of talking about prayer and some related things this week, and certainly about peace, I was thinking, isn't that kind of like life? We say a prayer or we wish for something. What if it was an hour from now I would like this or that to be? And if you had to do that, okay, an hour from now I would like this and that to be happening, or I would like to feel better, or I would like so-and-so to call me, or I would like this issue or this thing in my life to be taken care of. Could you think really big on that for that hour? Because I think sometimes we limit ourselves. It's okay, an hour from now, things are going to be pretty much the same as they are right now. But not necessarily. You've probably all had moments in your life where something happened in a few moments that just changed the trajectory of your life, changed the way you looked at things, changed the way you felt. Maybe a health change happened within that hour. So I think we can take that practice of what would I like to have happened or to occur by an hour from now that is amazing, miraculous, mind-boggling, more than I can even possibly comprehend, but I want to try. We've been doing a lot of praying for peace in these last weeks. Not that it comes out of nowhere, but that we know there is peace and that it can demonstrate in so many different ways. And some of you know I've been going for some extra credentialing from Unity headquarters, which has taken me back to some interesting Bible studying. I like the Bible. It's not something I do every day, but I'm playing with it, and I have to do different studying for parts of it. And something just really popped out at me this week, and I'm going to share it because it's kind of in that idea of what miraculous thing could you pray for that might or might not happen. So excuse me if I'm reading some of this. I usually just like to talk my talks. You like to talk your talk and walk your walk and do your thing? So this is from Acts, okay? In the New Testament. So the disciples become the apostles. They are out there in the world spreading this word that they had been taught in the beginning of Christianity, and persecuted. Some of them were killed. But Peter comes into the scene in Acts, and I'm really, because he was a powerful speaker and he was going around converting people. And there's a Herod in this scene also. Not the Herod of earlier days, but Herod Agrippa. And he didn't like the fact that Peter was going around telling people about their own personal divinity and the other things that they were teaching. So he wanted to put him in jail. And he did. He had just killed some other speakers of the truth. But he was waiting for the festival to be over. So he had him in jail, and he knew that he better put a whole lot of security around him. So he was in a cell, chained. The door of the cell was locked. He had a whole, I think, 16 guards around Peter, including 2 of them in the cell with him, watching him at all times. And then around the jail area, there was a big iron gate that led into the city, and that was locked. Picture a big, heavy iron gate. People were praying for Peter. They knew he was in prison, and they knew he was most likely going to be executed the following day. And they were praying in one particular house where he had stayed and visited. It's the house of Mary. I'm not sure which Mary it was. There's a lot of Marys in the Bible. And they were praying for Peter. And all of a sudden, Peter, in chains, sleeping between 2 soldiers, with other guards at the door, keeping watch, saw a light appear in his cell. A very big, bright light. And there was an angel standing there. And the angel said to Peter, "Get up quickly." And Peter did. As he did, the chains literally fell off his wrists, according to the Bible. Now, we know the Bible was written after the fact, and there's a lot of story in there, but we'll just kind of go along with the story. And much of it's written in metaphor, and much of it is written in cautionary tales. The chains fell off his wrists. And the angel said, "Peter, fasten your belt." Not your seat belt, but your belt, your girdle type thing he would have worn around his robe. And the angel said, "Put on your sandals." And the angel said, "Put your cloak around you." Now, this was not an invisibility cloak like in Harry Potter, but it would have been whatever cloak he had. But it kind of worked like an invisibility cloak. And Peter followed the angel out of the cell. 2 guards were sleeping on either side of him, 1 on each side of him. There was a guard outside the door. Peter followed him out of the cell. Peter thought that it was a vision, that this wasn't really happening. Peter got a lot of visions. He just had a vision a few weeks before that. So he was used to visions. He went along with the vision. Okay? Let me read you this. Together they passed the first set of guards. Then the second set of guards walked right through them. Then they came to this heavy iron gate. Can you picture that? Maybe a little rusty, maybe whatever closing device or lock was old, heavy iron gate. Peter and the angel stood there, and the gate by itself opened up into the lanes and the paths going into the city. Peter probably wasn't all that surprised because, hey, anything can happen in a vision, right? You're daydreaming or night dreaming or visioning. Isn't that what we kind of just talked about? And what could happen in an hour, right? What could happen in an hour? You might be tied up yourself in some challenging problem. You might be having a health issue that just seems unsolvable, unhealable. You might be having a relationship issue that just isn't working out. Or you could see a way, but maybe it'll be 10 years from now. Or this too will pass. You might be having another challenge in your life, whether it's work or family. How is this going to pass? Sometimes if we're just visioning it, it might seem easier, right? And think about this. What were the people doing? The people that loved Peter, Peter's family and friends. They were praying and praying and praying. I don't know how they were praying. I don't know if they were asking for something specific. I don't know if they were just holding the thought of peace and light and love like we do around a situation. They were praying. It goes on. So at that point, when they're outside the city gate, angel, poof, disappeared. And at that point, Peter said something like, I'm making my own little Bible story up here, "Oh my God, that really was an angel. Oh my God, I'm not laying in there jail cell with my hands all full of iron and a guard on either side. Oh my goodness, I am out of jail." Wow. And he went to the house of Mary, who is mother of John Mark, I've got in my notes, where many had gathered. And what were they doing? They were praying. Can you imagine how exhilarated he was? How excited to tell them what happened when he was realizing this really happened? And to thank them for their prayers? And he pounded on the outer gate. And Rhoda, R-H-O-D-A, now different Bible interpretations say different things. One said she was a maid, one said she was a little girl, might have been a maiden, which would have been a young woman. Rhoda came up to the other side of this wall around the house and said, "Who's there?" And Peter said, "It is I," something like this. "It's me, it's Peter. I'm out of jail. You're not going to believe this angel and gates opening up and chains falling off my arms." And Rhoda was so excited. She was jumping up and down on the other side of the gate, and she ran into the house to tell everybody, but she forgot to open the gate to Peter. That's what got me when I was reading this story. I was like, what? Here we are, full of wonderful news. Have you ever had that happen to you? You want to tell somebody and they go tell somebody else, but they don't really sit with you long enough to hear what happened, okay? So she goes running into the house. And she said, "Peter is standing at the gate." They knew he was locked up, quadruple locked up, to be put to death, probably in the morning. She says, "He's out there at the gate." One Bible version says, they said to her, "You are out of your mind." Another Bible version says, "You're just excited. It didn't really happen." Do you ever get like that, where something really exciting happens to you and you just can't even believe it yourself? Or someone else comes to you with a story and it's like, prayers don't happen like that. World peace doesn't happen in an hour. Wars and difficulties and things don't change that quickly. It takes time. She insisted, Peter is there. I talked to him. And they said something like, honey, maybe you just saw his ghost. Maybe they went ahead and killed him already. She said, I talked to Peter. Of course, if she'd opened the gate, that would have solved a lot of this conversation going back and forth. They said, maybe it's his angel. While all this conversation was going on, Peter was busy knocking on the gate. And he made a lot of noise, and they made a lot of noise. And they came out, and they opened the gate, and they saw him, and they were amazed. And I can picture all that noise. Peter, it's really you. And I could picture them, because coming out of prayer, that they might have been saying things like, I was praying for that exact thing to happen. Maybe not. Because who can imagine that? Chains falling off somebody. Guards sleeping through an angel experience. Big gate opening up. But I could see that happening. Maybe they said to him, that couldn't have happened. Did you just kill the guards and that's how you got out? No, he didn't have to kill anybody. Although Herod the next day killed the guards because he was trying to figure out how this prisoner could possibly have disappeared. Peter said to his friends, took his hand, he said, hush. And then he explained how God, an angel, brought him out of prison. And he told his followers, the people in that house, to tell others. Then he left and went to another place, which I also like that line because it was like, okay, probably, let me, y'all calm down and be really nice to Rhoda. And I'm going to go somewhere else for now. So what questions could we ask ourselves? I'm just pondering this, and I'm loving this particular passage because I could really play with it. And I could, again, it's stories told from many different people and after the fact, and some of them were done as morality tales and different ways of looking at it. But how do you look at that? I wonder what prayers that house was having. I wonder if you are praying for someone right now, someone on your mind, how miraculous your wishes are. To not limit ourselves by mortal thought of what can and cannot happen, especially when we're dealing with bigger things too. A serious illness, a very difficult relationship, a big concern, or a world situation. What could happen in an hour? In your prayer, like we pray in unity, it's not begging God to do something. It's seeing the highest truth and allowing that truth within us. What could happen in an hour or in a day? I wasn't going to share this, but I will. Yesterday I was just getting this. I'm not an artist, but I like to sketch, and I haven't sketched this yet. I was picturing the skies over Ukraine and over Russia being closed, but not in the physical sense, but in the sense of all these prayers going up and taking form, like a really interesting set of clouds that would calm everything down, that would make people stop and say, oh, really? Is this what we want to do? We create peace, and from all sides and from within. Little homework, look up the story of Padre Pio, who was a European monk, stayed in his cell all the time, and actually stopped some planes during, I believe it was World War II. They saw a monk in the sky. It's actually in the Air Force records. And they turned their planes around and went the other way. That's a powerful vision. To me, that's as powerful as chains falling off. Or you might, in your hour of ahead, what chains might be falling off of you? In your thinking, in your life. Visualize what you want. Recognize the power of prayer for ourselves and for others. And perhaps remember at the end of your prayer, you're visualizing, add a corollary. Add an extra statement. There's a word for it. I am an English major. This or something better. This or something better. Spirit, I can only imagine so much. This or something better. Visualize what you want. Your words and your thoughts have energy. Another piece of homework, look for the brand new song by Willie Nelson. It came out on Facebook yesterday. I think he just recorded it a day or so ago after the passing of his 91-year-old sister who he loved dearly. I believe the title is Thoughts Have Energy. I see Mary nodding her head. It's a beautiful recording. I'm guessing you can find it in different spots if you're not on Facebook, on the internet, because he just put it out there. And it's exactly what we teach. Our thoughts have energy. Our prayers have energy. Our thinking is powerful. May your chains fall off. May angels show up in whatever form. And may prayer always lift us up and protect us and lead us forward. We're so blessed to have Sean Arrington with us today. We're going to just remind everyone, especially that's watching online, how to support Unity Athens. We have baskets around the room and our Sacred Exchange basket over there. So Kevin, if you would could you put up the screen? Oh, we're not going to be able to show the screen. I'll just say it. Okay. We're on different modality here today. Yeah, okay. So we are so grateful. 2 years, it's our 2-year anniversary of being closed and now being open, and even though we've been open for a while now, we're so grateful to be moving forward for all the new ideas and energy that we have. We're so excited that people we don't yet know about are going to come forward and say they want to be on the board. Right, Betty? Yeah, this is going to happen. We just see that happening, people volunteering, and that'll be all in place by our town hall meeting in 2 weeks. And we hold our gifts, or the thought of our gifts, or the thought of our abundance over our hearts, knowing that we don't give to receive, but we give from an open heart. And the heart of the universe returns it to us. And our Sacred Exchange affirmation is, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am so blessed, and we say thank you to your name for the divine. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, Holy All, God. Amen. A women, a them, and so it is. We thank you, and yes, we're going to have Sean, and we will close out after that. If you have any questions, just email us at UnityAthens@gmail.com. And for those of you that are still struggling a bit with pandemic or other things, know that you're not alone, that we hold you in peace and light, and we're really, really glad that you're with us on the live stream today. Please consider coming in person. Masks are now optional. And we would love to see your bright and shining faces. We're so glad for the folks that are here today. The energy is wonderful. And so it is. Yay, Sean.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we float down the stream where catfish and crawdaddies dream? Little boys dig in the dirt, gathering worms of the earth. We'll climb through the magnolia trees, mansions of blossoms and leaves, conspire to live without fear, escape when the coast is all clear, where lost lovers sleep in the shade, bask in the love they have made, dance in the brief summer rain, singing a secret refrain. May our love become, may our love become, may our love become, may our love be, may our love become, may our love be, may our love become, may our love be, may our love become a river and flow. We'll wade in the oncoming waves like pirates over sea captains' graves, bury our treasure right here, let none uninvited come near, where stargazers fathom their birth, navigate heaven and earth, cloud shapers see what they please, quietly fade in the breeze. Now let's race through our lives in the sky until we forget how to fly, fall to the ocean below, dissolve